Hello you all, and welcome to the Jillian Page channel. I am Jillian herself, and I'm a singer based out of New York City who loves doing my own hair. It's just so fun to play with, and when I moved to New York 5 years ago from Dallas, Texas, the expense of doing my hair with someone else raised exponentially. So I learned how to do my own DIY balayage highlights, and now I'm here to tell you about how I've learned to tone them. I've been doing these highlights for, like I said, 5 years, and many of you have asked over the years, do you use a toner? While I did use a purple shampoo, I never messed with actual toners themselves, like that had tints in them. So over the pandemic, when I did my own balayage highlights, I was looking at them and thinking, you know, these look kind of yellow. You know how the pandemic went? You were just looking at yourself in the mirror too much and you're just like analyzing every little thing. So the highlights just looked a little bit warm for me. So I tried my hand at my own toners. Now, what you're about to see today is not my own concoction. This is from a fabulous lady named Cassidy Lynn. I will link her video because she does a fantastic job that then inspired this video. The interesting thing about toners that I found is that when you go to the beauty store, the little strand of hair that's there is not necessarily what it's gonna look like on your hair. I mean, that's kind of a duh, but I did not know that beforehand. So when I first tried toning my own hair, I think I used Wella T35 and it turned my hair completely brown. And then I ended up using, I think it's called like pale blonde, a honey blonde, and an ash blonde, something along those lines. And while it looked really bleach blonde on the hair strand at the beauty store, on mine, it came out pretty much exactly how I wanted. So as you can see, the result we're going for is kind of definitely warm tones in here, but some pieces of ashier and even silver tones. And they're all gonna weave together like a beautiful rainbow of luscious hair. And you too will look like a mermaid. My favorite thing about what we're gonna do today is the combination of different toners because it makes it more of a dynamic, rich look. I am absolutely obsessed with how these turned out. This was my second time doing them, and this is about 3 days after the actual application of the toner. So please enjoy. Let me know what you think, and I am pretty good about checking the comments, so let me know if there's anything that you wanna see next or have questions on, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, let's get started. So these highlights I did on myself yesterday. This is from my DIY balayage video. This technique is almost foolproof. If you're on the fence about trying to do your own highlights, I highly recommend that you give it a try. I knew nothing about doing highlights before I started doing my own in this technique. The way you do it is teasing your hair so that you create really smooth lines, and it's almost impossible to create a harsh line that's gonna look blotchy or messed up. So super duper easy, cannot recommend it enough, but as you all can see, it's a little bit golden. It's yellow, and listen, this was a beautiful result that I had for years until the pandemic came and I just started looking at my dang self too much and being like, I bet we can do something different and maybe a little bit better. Let's talk about what you're gonna need. First, you'll need toners, 3 of them, a Wella T10, T11, T18, and then any brand 20 vol cream developer. I use L'Oreal. You might also want to get some clips, which will make this process a little easier. We need 2 types of brushes because you're going to be dipping them in different toners and we don't want to mix. If you're feeling fancy, you can get a little measuring cup like I did. This was literally $1 and has saved my life because before I got this, I was eyeballing what a 2-to-1 ratio was. Not great when you're mixing chemicals. Gloves, if you want them, and then 2 separate bowls for these toners. You're also gonna wanna wear a shirt that you don't really care about, so I'm gonna go change into that and then we'll start the process. Okay, you all, so as we mix, I would definitely recommend opening a door like I did and a window like I did over here because these fumes are wild. So just make sure that you have some air circulating because the last time I did this, I was coughing like crazy. Okay, so here's the deal. We are mixing different kinds of toners, so it's gonna be so rich and depthy and beautiful. That being said, this T18 is gonna be the ashier pieces. These are gonna be pieces that would be hit by the sun, that are a little bit closer to the front, and more like standout pieces rather than the overall effect. The T11 and the T10 that we're going to be mixing have both silvery tones and warmer tones. So it's going to be for the overall effect and the bigger pieces of the hair rather than the standout ones. So we're going to make a little bit more of this concoction than the T18. So this is pretty easy. It's just going to go 1 part toner, 2 part 20 vol cream developer. So because we're mixing the T10 and the T11, we're gonna fill these each up to 10 on here. What are these? Milliliters. So I'm gonna do 10 of the T10, 10 of the T11. There's T11. So there we have, this is up to the 20, we're not quite at 30 yet, of the T10 and the T11. So now, because math, we're gonna do up to the 60 milliliter of the 20 vol cream developer, because let's see, this is 1 part toner up to 20, and then 20 times 2 is 40, 20 plus 40 is 60. Up to y'all me? There we go. I'm gonna pour this into my little bowl. And it doesn't matter what size brushes you use, but I have a bigger one and a small one. So I'm gonna take my big one, scrape out any of this remaining product into the bowl, and mix this. And this is about the consistency once it's mixed. I'm gonna go rinse out my measuring cup, all clean and dry. So now we're gonna mix the T18. Now, because this one is gonna be more for standout smaller pieces, I'm not gonna mix as much. I'm just gonna do 10 milliliters of the toner. There you go. And then on top of that, filling this up to 30 because we want 20 milliliters of the 20 vol. There we go, gonna mix. All right, so when you're applying toner, you want your hair to be damp, not soaking, dripping wet, but a little bit damp. So we're gonna do that. So now that my hair is damp, I'm gonna throw on these gloves and we're gonna get started. I would go ahead and part your hair how you naturally part it. It's not gonna matter too much because we're gonna do a pretty even spread of this toner, but just to make things a little bit easier on how this hair is gonna lay. To section off, I'm gonna take about half of my hair and get it out of our way there. Okay, so you all are gonna laugh. This application is ridiculously easy. All we're gonna do is really focus on the ashy pieces toward the front and then interspersed a little bit in between. Mostly we're gonna be painting the hair with our T10 and T11, which you can see is already turning that honey color. And the ashy T18 is turning purple, which is so cool. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna paint from the root, really saturate down, help it with my hands. And these pieces don't have to be small, they don't have to be precise. It's gonna create just such a gorgeous color, you all are gonna die. Then I'm gonna take my T10, T11, and go right behind it. Painting the whole strand of hair. It's okay if they overlap. Great. Taking my T18, my ashy, and getting this front piece really saturated there. And T10, T11. So this is just so easy. It's basically gonna be like you're a painter and you're just deciding what pieces do I feel like I would want to be a little more honey colored and which pieces would I like to be ashier. I've just done one ashy, one big honey chunk. Now I'm gonna do an ashy next to it. Just kind of feeling my way. And then I'm gonna do a big honey chunk in the back. Really making sure that you saturate the whole piece of hair, being super liberal with that product. Maybe one more ashy piece in the back next to that. And a little bit more honey. And that's it, you all. That section is done. I'm gonna take a little off the top here. Lighter, ashier pieces. You can even see that purple. And I'll do a honey piece next to it. Okay, last section. It truly is just the easiest application, you all. So toward these front pieces that are on top of my head, I'll probably be more generous with the T18, that ashier color, because these pieces would be more likely to be hit by the sun being up front and on the top. So I'll do a piece there. Maybe I'd like a honey piece right here. Maybe a honey piece framing it, that'd be pretty. Okay, so once it's all over, we're gonna go underneath each piece, just reiterating the colors that we kind of want in that area as if we're combing through. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna take my ashy T18 and I'm just gonna swipe underneath, really making sure that each hair is coated. I'm gonna go under here. It's like I'm brushing my fingers through my hair with the little brush. Under here, throughout these sections. I'm really just utilizing the last of my products. I know this seems really messy, but when you see the result, you'll see that the colors blend so beautifully together, and it doesn't really matter where these went, just as long as we're kind of getting the ashier pieces on top and toward the front. Now I'm gonna go back in with my T10 T11 honey and silver tones here and do the same thing. Maybe helping it with the hand a little bit, but just really saturating every piece as we finish up here. Maybe one more go around with the ashy because these pieces are my favorite. Okay, that'll do. So now I'm just gonna leave this on for about 18 minutes. I was Googling this the first time I did it, and people were saying don't leave toner on for more than 30 minutes, but other Google searches were saying leave the toner until you can see that it's developed. Okay, I don't know what that means. So the first and only other time I've done this, I left it on for 18 minutes, kind of met in the middle between 15 and 30, and it looked gorgeous. So I'm gonna do 18, you do what feels good. Okay, 18 minutes has gone by. It's gotten a lot darker, but don't let that scare you. I'm gonna wash with some purple shampoo, which I'm gonna let sit on it for about 5 minutes so it really soaks in and gets it nice and toned. And then I'm just gonna use a cheap Tresemme conditioner. I'll blow dry this and then show you all the end results. Okay, I just got out of the shower and I absolutely love it. You all can see how it is so blended in together. Again, this DIY balayage, these highlights are so easy and they make the lines look really effortless and blended together. I love this color. I love the ashy like I was telling you all, but I also love the honey mixed in there. There's warmer tones that make it look just so full. I just am obsessed. It turned out exactly how I wanted. Can you even believe? I hope it turns out so well on your own hair. It is so easy. It's so easy. I know you all are gonna try it and probably love it. So let me know how it goes. Like and subscribe, you know. You can find me on Instagram where I'm way more active at Jillian Page. And I think that's it. You all. Enjoy thoroughly. I hope it looks fantastic on you. Please report back and let me know how it goes. And I'll catch you on the next one.